Happy Friday, boys and girls. I am so happy to be back with you on day 2 of At Home Learning. I just want to say before we jump into today's lesson is how proud I am of all the work you guys did. I got so many pictures and messages on Dojo of you guys doing your work in your packet and seeing you on Moby Max and Zern. Keep up that awesome work. You guys are blowing me away. Remember, if you ever get stuck on something or you're feeling confused, circle it, and when I call you each week to check in, you can share those questions with me, or you can ask me on Dojo and I'll get back to you as soon as possible because I want to make sure that you guys are learning the best that you can and that I can help you in any way. Remember, we are in this thing together, everybody, and I am here for you 100%. So let's go ahead, let's dive into our iReady Reading Grade 3 packet again. And just like yesterday, we're going to be still talking about the theme or the message of the story, what that author is trying to teach us. But we're going to learn a new skill today, and actually it's not new because we've already done this. So it's going to be review for you. But we're going to be talking about the difference in how they are connected between summary and retelling. All right, so what I want you guys to do, and I'm going to pull up an anchor chart here for us so that we can look at this together, is let's take a peek just to remind ourselves the difference between retelling and summary. So in a retell, as you guys can see here, a retell is like that 5-finger retell where you have your beginning, middle, end, your characters, your setting, and it's telling that whole story. It's long, it's very specific, it has lots of details to it, and this is very important. It gives things in sequence. It tells events in sequence, which is the order. Now, summary is different. Now, they are connected. There's my connection symbol that we do. Connection between retelling and summary is that summaries do tell about the story, but they're really telling you about the most important part of the story. It's very focused, it's short, and you really hone in on what the story is about. What are you learning about here? So as we do a practice together here in just a moment, I want you to think about the difference between a retell and a summary, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up a retell about what I did this morning. So you guys can kind of learn a little bit about what Mrs. Bush did when she woke up this morning. So remember, a retell is where you tell details in the order that they happened. So here we go. This morning, I got up and made some coffee. Next, I ate some breakfast. Then I had a bowl of cereal and a banana. It was delicious. After breakfast, I looked outside to see what the weather was like. It was sunny. I checked my phone to see the temperature for the day. It was only 40 degrees. This helps me decide what to wear to work. I am finally ready to start the day. All right, I gave some sequence words, next, then, and I tried to give you specific details about what happened. Now, a summary, remember, it's connected, but it's different. It tells you the details, but it's much shorter by only telling the most important detail, the most important things that are happening. And I underlined it right here. I got ready for work this morning. This whole thing here is really telling you how I got ready for work this morning. I got up, I made my coffee and breakfast. I was able to start my day off right. That's what this is really about. I don't need to give you specifics about the banana and cereal and yada, yada, yada. I'm just getting, boom, I'm focusing on what's happening. So in your iReady Grade 3 reading packet, I want you guys to look at, it's after page 14. So you're going to be on page 15, and we're going to go to 15 to 21 today. So this is kind of a review about what we just talked about, retelling and summarizing. So if you need more practice and you want to look at some of this, you can. I'm going to keep scrolling because we've already been over this. There's some good thinking stems, which is what we've already said. What are the most important things about what's interesting? Some more checks to make sure you're getting it. But here's what we are going to look at together. So our story is called Sharing the Crops, and it's a folk tale, which your brain should go ding. It's a light bulb moment, which means, ooh, I'm going to learn a lesson. Remember, folk tales teach you a lesson. Something's going to happen with these characters that they're going to learn something. So be on the lookout for that. And I love these little toolboxes here. This is very similar to how our Wonders looks. It says, why does the landowner keep changing the deal he made with the farmer? And we're going to underline the key details about the first deal between the landowner and the farmer. So as I read this with you today, I'm going to highlight anytime I see something with a deal, something that's happening. And that's going to keep my brain ready to notice and note those very important details of the story. Okay, so let me get my highlighter ready. Go ahead and get your pen or pencil ready too. Gotta make sure I got it. And here we go. Sharing the crops, a folktale from England. I'm on paragraph 1. Once a farmer rented some land. How much does it cost to use this land? The farmer asked the landowner. The owner wanted to get a better part of the deal. So he said, there's deal. He said, I'll take the top half of the crop and you can take the bottom half. So I'm going to make the owner yellow. The owner says, I'll take the top half and you can take the bottom half. But the farmer was clever. He planted potatoes because they grow in the ground. At harvest time, he gave the owner the potato tops, which are not good for anything. Do you guys understand what's happening here? When we harvested sweet potatoes, they're underneath the ground. The stuff on top, you don't need that. We want that potato in the ground. So since the owner said, I'll take the top, the farmer is thinking, I'm going to plant potatoes because I'll get the potato, the yummy potato. You can have all the stuff we don't need. Oh my goodness. All right, let me keep going. The owner knew he had been outsmarted. He said, next year, I want the bottom half of your crops. So the owner again says, okay, next year, I want the bottom half, because he's thinking, I just lost out on the bottom. Now I want the bottom part. So the next year, the farmer planted oats, which grow at the top of the long grasses. The bottom half is useless, grassy straw. That's what the farmer gave to the owner. Do you get what happened here? Now the farmer says, okay, you want the top or you want the bottom this time? I'll plant things that come at the top. So he planted oats, which oats are like those, we've never planted these in our learning garden before, but they look like grassy straw and you get them at the top of them, not the bottom. Oh my gosh. Okay, here, let's keep going. Paragraph 6. This time the owner said, next year the owner said, next year, I'll take the top and the bottom. You can have the middle. So this time, the farmer planted corn. At the top of each corn stalk are tassels. At the bottom are woody stalks. In the middle is where the tasty sweet corn grows. Oh my goodness, look at this picture of corn right here. I gave you corn. This is what corn looks like. The top of corn it's called the tassels. We don't need those. We don't eat those. And the bottom is like the root. It's just a wood stalk. So the farmer gets the middle. In the middle is where all the corn is. Oh my goodness. For the third time, the owner had been outsmarted. Now it was the farmer's turn to suggest a deal. From now on, he said, why don't you take half of whatever I grow? Whatever I get, you will get the same. That was a fair deal at last. From that day on, the owner and the farmer shared the crops equally. Okay, so this farmer came up with the idea right here. From now on, why don't you take half of whatever I grow? Whatever I get, you will get the same. So if there are 10 potatoes that he gets, how many does the owner get? 5, and the farmer gets 5, right? He's going to share with him. Wow. So if we look at the story, we can go back and look at it. This owner, he's really not making good deals, is he? And I'm going to actually highlight, I'm going to change colors here for the farmer. The farmer was clever. He planted potatoes because they grow in the ground. He knew. He did switch. And then here, the farmer planted oats, which grow at the top. The farmer planted corn, and he knew where the corn is at. Where does the corn grow? It grows in the middle. So the farmer really knew exactly what to do. Wow, guys, this is crazy, right? The farmer just seems like he is the really clever and the smart one here. But it sounds like they came to an understanding, which remember, that's what lessons do. They teach you something. So let's go ahead and let's look at these questions, which you are going to do on your own today. You have question 1. What is the central message? Remember, the message is the theme. What did we learn here? So go ahead and pick your best choice. And don't forget to do part B. Which one supports this? Now, you don't need to do number 2 or number 3, but you absolutely need to do your short response today, and I'll help you get started. Explain which character in sharing the crops learns a lesson. So who do you think learns the lesson? Do you think you need to switch this out. Do you think the farmer? So if you think the farmer learned, but did the farmer really learn a lesson? Who was the person that earned the lesson? The owner. The owner in sharing the crops learns, what does he learn? Learns a lesson. Learns what? What does the owner in sharing the crops learn? The owner in sharing the crops learns that, go ahead, and if you don't remember, go back and look at the text to refresh your memory. Lots of times those lessons are towards the bottom of the folk tale right there, the ending of it. Okay? So finish your short response. Make sure you give me a detail. Don't forget your detail. It's really, really important. Detail right there. And then on the next 2 pages, so you have 2 more, and these are actually super quick, you guys. You're going to be thinking about character traits and what do the character traits mean. So a helpful person, if a person is helpful, what might that person do? If you're a helpful person, would you do chores? Would you break a glass, or would you trip and fall? I hope you do pick this one, doing your chores. You can circle it. If a person is curious, if you're curious, what does that mean if you're curious about something? She might go to sleep, read a book, or wrap a gift. So the word curious means like you're wondering, you want to discover things. If you go to sleep, you're just sleeping, right? You're dreaming, that's true. But if you wrap a gift, you're doing something. Reading a book helps you discover more information. You're learning. Being a curious person means you like to learn, which you can read a book by doing that. Okay, try out the next 2 on your own. And then right here for number 1 through 5, how might a patient person act? You have a multiple choice. We're going to do this first one together. How would someone who's patient act? Patient. Think about the story of the girl with the wagon and the farmer. Patient. Would you tell a friend to hurry up? Would you run to be the first in line? Would you refuse to wait for someone? Or would you maybe teach a baby something new? So I don't know if I can slash this, but I'm going to try. Tell a friend to hurry up. That's trash. I'm going to try to make it colorful here. Maybe. I don't know. I want to slash that trash because there's no way. I don't think I can, but you guys can do it on your own here. Tell a friend to hurry up. Nope. Refuse run. Nope. Your best choice that you should be picking is D. You would teach a baby something new because babies, they take a while to learn things. You got to keep doing things to remind them. Remember, their brains are developing. They're babies. They haven't learned everything. So you're going to do to page 21, friends, and then stop. Now, good luck today. If you get stuck on something, circle it, but I think you guys got this. Don't forget your short response, and also when you finish this, jump on MobyMax today and do some foundational reading practice. It will help keep those skills sharp in your mind, everybody. I can't wait to see your work. Send me pictures on Dojo. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!